Hi, my name's Ivan. I'm neither a sailor or a boat builder, but I'm going to have a go at this old girl. So here's the template. There's what's left of the original. Just try and find its rightful spot. That's pretty good there. That's pretty good there. So they line up pretty good. So then to carry on from there, it's quite difficult when it's all in bits, but I've already marked this side. So it's just that side now. Continue that round, and I can cut that out, test fit it, make sure it fits, and put it aside ready for treatment. Save the template for now, just in case. Not only that, being the tight wad I am, I may take it apart and use it again. Okay, so as you can see, it's all in little bits. Now this was all what looks like good quality hardwood marine ply. Soaking in fresh water didn't do it any good. As it wouldn't. You wouldn't expect it to, would you really? Looks like the originals weren't that accurate either. There you go. I'm just going to mark that one again with the one from that side, which looks to be more accurate. bouncy bouncy. Okay, French curve would be good, wouldn't it? We don't have one of those. I'll have to think about that. Maybe some pins and a piece of ply. That might be the answer. Let's go find some panel pins. When we got to this side, my template told me that this was in the wrong place. I suspect that, if I remember correctly, when I took the bulkheads out, you couldn't see very well because they were tabbed in. But I got a feeling there was quite a large gap between the bulkhead and the hull. Obviously they're manufacturing them. It's for speed. They're not out to make it perfect. I, on the other hand, am going to increase that amount and see where we go. So I think the better the fit you can get, the better it is for the bond between the two. I mean, this side it's probably what, half an inch. 10-15 mil. So, okay. Just put the template back up and have a look. Slightly more over this side too. Oh no, I'll put that in the right place. No, so they're fine. They're fine. Okay. To be sure. Okay. Right. Cut that out and see how that fits. I'm not going to cut the top bit out yet. I'll wait until that's in. It may even stay. I think that'll work. Right. Let's see how we get on with this. That's cut. Now we'll go and see if it fits. Okay, so that didn't quite fit. It's not far off. Just a little too wide at the top. At the top in the hull, there's a thicker fiberglass piece just at the top of the hull. So get my trusty tools and trim it down. I'm no carpenter, that's for sure. A bit like the guys on Saving Surrender. I make it up as I go along, or look it up on YouTube or the internet somewhere. I also like them. They built lots of camper vans. I only built one. So back for another trim, but it's not too bad. We'll get there. I think it's quite important for this one to be a reasonable fit anyway. So as not to rely on the tabbing so much, but maybe I'm just being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't think so really. I think. See how much closer we are now. Okay, so yeah, there's that bulkhead in there. I don't think it's a bad fit. Obviously might need a little tweak when we fiberglass it in. I know the cockpit's here, so I don't know whether I'm going to need to cut out. Let me show you the other side that I marked. So that was the original shape. Obviously I've marked it there where that's where the cockpit sits. That's off the original bits that I had left over. It doesn't look terribly straight or anything, so I probably need to put a very small hole in the bottom so that any water that does get in there can drain down. I've already put holes through the beams, which I'm going to line with this tubing, so that in the lowest point I can put a bilge pump. I'll try and find a very low profile bilge pump to go somewhere in here. I'm not sure, but I think when she's afloat and stable, the floor beam should be level. So at the moment I'm leaning uphill. So next job is to a little bit more resin to put on the floor, on the repairs I did on that, and then trying to get the floor in, and that'll be the first tabbing. I've wire brushed all of this with an electric drill and a wire brush. Washed the front section there out with acetone. I'll do the second section. But yeah, and then tab the floor back in. So the only bit I haven't taken apart is where the keels are in here, and obviously the floors or the beams. Apart from that, let's start from scratch. I don't know quite what to do about the chain locker. I'm not a great fan of the water from the chain locker coming all the way down and into the bilge. In my opinion, the less water you can get in your bilge, the better. So yeah, I don't know how to drain that otherwise. Maybe a tube fitted to the bottom of the locker to bring the water down into the bilge, so that it doesn't make the rest of the floor wet. Well, of course that just lends itself to getting blocked up with detritus that you pull up with the anchor. It's one to think about, but we shall see. Anyway, onward and upward. That's all for now.